What's up, everyone? It's your boy Danny Vega, aka Danny V, and WandaVision episode 6 had just dropped. I watched it this morning a few times actually. There's a lot that I would love to get into. I felt like I got more questions than answers in this episode, and let's talk about it. Now, before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell button for more future videos. Also, we can't forget about our sponsors. Let's start off with my boy DJ Venom. That's right. Make sure to go to his SoundCloud and also to his Twitch, DJ_Venom, spelled the same way, for all your gaming needs. And don't forget to check out Sweets by Award. They're a fantastic baking company here in Orlando who makes all types of delicious, tasty treats. Make sure to use my discount code DannyV for 15% off your next order. So in my last video, I told you how I love being right and I do a happy little dance every time. But there are sometimes that I'm wrong, a lot of times. So what do I do when I'm wrong? This is what I do.
In the arms of the angel.
But the thing that I love about being wrong is that, one, I get to learn, and I love you guys, the viewers and my subscribers, for educating me. And yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that. And all of you that have already liked and subscribed and comment on my videos, I love mentioning you guys. So thank you, keep it up. Remember, tell your friends, mom, everybody else. Don't forget to subscribe. So yeah, WandaVision episode 6, I have a lot of questions now. And also, like, if you saw a couple of videos ago, I think it's 2 videos ago, I did a leaked episode with the leaked footage. Now, what's really interesting about the leaked footage was definitely different angles than what was actually used in the final production, which is always cool. But at the same time though, it can be deceiving. The way they did it in the leaked footage was somewhat different. So things that I've said in my previous videos could be wrong, because I felt like that. I was watching it, I'm like, oh, here's the part. The fuck? I felt very underwhelmed. And I guess that's what happens when you get shit ruined for you. And I am so sorry for all of you guys that check these spoiler videos now, because I feel like if you haven't seen the episode and you see it, it's very underwhelming. So I don't think I'm gonna be doing any more leaked footage unless you guys want me to. Comment below if you want me to. So yeah, I love the nostalgia of these shows. As soon as I saw the opening, I was like, that's fucking Malcolm in the Middle. And it was fantastic, especially when Billy and Tommy were doing the whole Malcolm in the Middle bit, breaking the fourth wall. I was like, this is genius. And especially because it's the kids, it's not Wanda, and it's nobody else that's breaking the fourth wall. Perfect, absolutely perfect for me. I also love that everyone's wearing their costumes. We see Vision come in with the janky Party City version of Vision. That's all I can think about. I used to work for Party City, so I totally know when shit doesn't look right. Wanda has her janky Scarlet Witch, and so does the kids. They're Speed and Wiccan, and then Evan Peters' hair and his janky ass Quicksilver outfit is absolutely fantastic. It reminds me of when we were kids and we couldn't afford shit, and your mom's like, you're definitely not getting that, and we had to make our own. Again, so funny to me. We also see them playing DDR. I don't know about you guys. As you can tell, I'm a wrestling fan, I'm a geek. I love all types of geekdom shit, and I was a huge fan of DDR. And I had it for the PS2, and I had the mat. So when I saw that, I was like flooded with memories, like, oh snap. I love Wanda's excuse for the whole Scarlet Witch outfit. She's like, I'm a Sokovian fortune teller, which is a good, I like that. All right, good job, Disney. You really brought that in. But what I thought was hilarious was how the boys were like, what are you, an old Red Riding Hood? If I said that to my mom, one of 2 things was gonna happen. One, she would either feel really bad and cry, and then later after that would tell me how much I ain't shit. Or 2, you know, I'll show you a Red Riding Hood. And I love the little flashback of when Quicksilver and Wanda, for their Halloween, like way back, you see that there are posters on there and they look like old propaganda posters. Like you see the astronaut with the atom, which is really cool, because like in the old propaganda they used to say how the discovery of the atom is to peace, when really it was for war and whatnot. Or it could be a callback to Midtown School of Science, or to Powerline from a Goofy movie, or even it could be the atom. Wait, that's DC. Fuck! In my leaked video, I mentioned how Monica Rambeau was just like, hey, listen, you're not gonna win to Hayward, and that if Wanda's the problem, then she has to be the solution. And I love that they're arguing back and forth, and he basically throws in her face that she was gone in the snap, and he's like, you don't know what it's like. And she's like, that doesn't give you an excuse to be a little bitch. And everyone's like, Then he rubs in the face, well, that's why you weren't here when your mama died. I thought she was about to throw hands. I thought Hayward was about to catch them hands for real. But like I said before as well, that Hayward is definitely reminding me of General Thunderbolt Ross. I feel what I said before is true, that he wants to use Vision as a weapon of some sort. The group says it, like he's up to something. He wants to sideline us. What is happening? So Darcy Lewis hacks into his shit, and then you can find out that he has a satellite that can see right through the hex. And they're like, wait, why didn't he tell us? And then not only that, he's tracking Vision. They're like, wait, why is he tracking Vision instead of Wanda? Which is a really good question. If he's tracking Vision, could it be that Hayward is the Grim Reaper? Because remember, they took Vision's consciousness and put it into Wonder Man to resurrect Wonder Man. So could it be that maybe not Wonder Man, but possibly like a brother of Hayward is dead and they're just trying to resurrect him with Vision's technology? I don't know, but seems like a stretch, but I'm just saying that sounds pretty logical to me. Someone was saying how Hayward is actually using Vision to create Sentinels. That would be really cool. I think that is really awesome. And if it's true, the mutants could already be in the MCU. It's just we haven't heard of them yet. Also, speaking of mutants, so Monica Rambeau is still trying to get back in. She gets that text from that aerospace engineer that we have no idea who it is. But then Darcy's like, you can't go back in there. Your cells are getting rewritten all over the place. And obviously Monica responds, well, I've seen cells remiss and go and all that other bullshit. This could not, that she is becoming Photon, which again is a theory I've seen on New Rockstars and other places, is that what if Wanda is the reason why mutants come into the MCU, not as in like what I've said before in the multiple timelines coming into one, but as her magic creates mutants. Darcy is digging more deeply into Hayward. They leave her behind because they're like, well, we're gonna go. And she's like, well, I gotta crack this code so I can send it to you guys. And speaking of which, I love the fact that Jimmy Woo was the one that initiated the ass whooping. Okay, I love that. I love the fact that he was just like, motherfucker, oh, and then Monica Rambeau did it, and Darcy's like, why didn't nobody tell me? Breaking a glass bottle, like, who's next? Like Cinderella and Wreck-It Ralph. Was like, the whole thing with Quicksilver is pretty cool, that like he is Pietro. I love how Wanda is asking him questions to make sure it's Pietro, because she's like, you have a different face and he's acting entirely different, very immature, very man-childish, which I would know a thing or two about that. Girlfriend says it about me all the time. It's like, wait, is he really? And he figures it out off the bat. He's like, you're testing me. I know you're testing me. And then Wanda asks, like, why is his face different? And he's like, you tell me. Fuck, I don't know. All I know is I got shot like a chump, and then I heard you calling me, so I came. Which to me is really weird, because Wanda can't bring people back from the dead, because we saw that with Vision. Vision goes outside, like I said, he pushes through, but it looked like the hex was sucking him in, but it wasn't sucking him in. It was sucking the life it gave him back into the magic. So when he was in the real world, he died again, or was dying, and that's why Wanda expands the hex. God, I'm jumping way ahead. No, but seriously, like, she expands it, and then that's what saves Vision. So if she can't bring things back to life, then how the hell did he show up? Again, more questions than answers. He's saying certain things that are really weird. I'm like, is that Mephisto? It could just be a nod to Mephisto, you know what I mean? To the comics. I fucking don't know anymore. I feel like Disney is gaslighting us and just like pulling our strings. He says, unleash hell, demon spawn. Hell, demons, Mephisto, maybe. There's a Kick-Ass reference, and I was like, wait, what? And legit, I watched it and I was just like, get the fuck out of here. How did I miss that? Everyone was saying it, and I said that is definitely a reference. If I'm not mistaken, both Aaron Taylor and Evan Peters was in Kick-Ass, because Aaron Taylor was Kick-Ass and then Evan Peters was Ass Kicker, which is really funny to me because he was Quicksilver and he's Quicksilver. But he also mentions, and I caught this, he mentions Shangri-La. He's like, well, if I found Shangri-La, I wouldn't want my past either. And I'm like, wait, that sounds familiar. I legit paused it and I did a quick Google search.
2 hours later.
And I barely found anything. So I did what I tell you guys. I texted my buddy Andy. And my buddy Andy basically told me the little bit that I found in Google. And yeah, supposedly Shangri-La is this place that was in Tibet that's supposed to be super sacred, where Vision learned about life and death, etc., etc. I really don't know too much about it. So please, if you know more about it, please educate me. And also on the page that I found it on, I think it's like a wiki thing, but you know, we can never trust anything on wiki. That's where I get all my source of information. Nothing wrong about that. It also says that there's a place called Shangri Shangri, which is like a place in the United States that is basically mythical. No one has found it, but time and space like stand still there. So I'm like, whoa, what if that whole amnesia thing about Westview not being a real place? What if that's not amnesia? What if, for realsies, that place doesn't exist? What if it's Shangula or Shangri-La, as Quicksilver said, and that's what's happening? She's in this place that brings out her powers and everything is just going nuts. What if? And that brings me to my subscriber, Radiology. So Radiology also has mentioned this to me in my last video, which I thought was a fantastic theory. He said that what if the House of M is a legit house? Like, what if the house is possessed that she's in? What if, you know, she was in despair, all this jazz, she goes into this abandoned place, into this house, and it's possessed, and this is what's making Wanda, you know, seeing ghosts and all this shit and just making all these powers come out. I thought that was a fantastic theory, especially because he said this, which makes a lot of sense if they're going with the Infinity Stones and they're going with parallel universes and all this jazz, is that what if the Ego Stone is the one that's possessing her or the house in that space? The Ego Stone is the 7th Infinity Stone. So basically what the Ego Stone is that's different from the other ones is that the Ego Stone actually possesses people partially too. That's what they say on my quick Google search. What if Wanda's reality is she finds the 7th stone in this place? So Radiology, holy smokes, thank you for that. Thank you for educating me, and thank you for making me do hours and hours of Google searching. I have this like weird little new theory. People that succumb to Wanda's way, they're freer in the show. And when I mean the show, I mean like her show. And this is what I mean. Herb seems to have full range like Agnes. And now I'm kind of thinking, is like Disney and Marvel really just pulling our strings that maybe Agatha, but it really isn't. And the reason why I say that is because Herb in the previous episode, he's like, we're all, and it doesn't say, but it sounds like he says we're all trapped. And it almost confirms it with Agnes, because in this episode, Herb was just like, hey, Wanda, do you want anything changed? And she's like, no. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna bounce. When you look at other people, like the lady doing the whole string thing and she starts crying, it's like those people are not conforming to Wanda's vision. Could it be that the people that don't conform, they're the ones that are stuck like that? Or is just background extras? It's just like, you stay there and that's it. We don't know, because also Agnes seems like she's frozen because she tried to escape. She came back too when, you know, she's going back. But a lot of people also have said that maybe she's the one that's gaslighting Vision, because she was there at the edge knowing that he would go find her and then go outside, because that's where the camp is as well. I don't know. Again, a lot of questions in this episode. So the commercial that they have with the shark and the kid that's stranded on an island, a lot of people were saying a lot of different metaphors on it, like, hey, he's a predator and it's probably representing the person that is preying on Wanda, that she's the lonely person on the island. I don't know. All I know is that I saw claymation from my childhood. Brisk Iced Tea commercials, celebrity deathmatch with the horrible claymation. I lost my cookies and I laughed really hard. But not only that, the whole thing with the yogurt, I know is like Yo Magic, and I know it's probably a play on Yo Play and like Trix yogurt when we were kids, but I am telling you, that whole thing with the lid about not being able to open the yogurt, that was a real thing. I swear they were the hardest things to open when I was a kid. You're kind of like, come on, just give me the yogurt, to the point that we probably would stab it open sometimes. And I don't know if any of you are out there, if you are around my age, yeah, you know. And I know like Yo Magic is like, hey, this is Yo Magic. Like nacho cheese, yeah, no, okay, bad joke, got it. The Wanda and Quicksilver relationship is really great. You know, you see they're trying to bond. He's like, listen, I'm not a stranger. I'm not anybody. He's like, just talk to me. I'm your brother. What's going on? It's really a big callback to the comics. Pietro loves his sister and would do anything. Remember, in the House of M, Pietro is the reason for it. because they were going to kill her, and he ran to Wanda and told her, so she changed reality. So yeah, it's a great callback that he's really protective of his sister and really loves his sister. So we get to see that here, and he's just like, come on, just talk to me. He's like, how'd you even do this? He's like, I'm actually impressed. You're not just doing little, oh, I give you nightmares and stuff like that. You're doing big things. And I know people would be like, well, that's very sinister to the throwback to Mephisto, but I would say that's a callback to House of M. Look at all the atrocities that she did, and Pietro was like, I don't care, I love my sister, that doesn't matter to me. That is what I was like, man, maybe he really is just Quicksilver. If he is Quicksilver and he's not Mephisto, I would totally love that, because that is more comic book accurate. And so she tells him, she's like, I don't even know. She's like, I just felt lonely and I felt hurt, and then it just happened. House of M confirmed. And then we get to see dead Pietro with the bullet holes, and he's dead, but it's not Aaron Taylor's face. It's still Evan Peters' face. Is it, like I said before, just a twisted reality, or she is bringing an alternate Quicksilver over? We'll see. The kids have their superpowers. Remember what I was telling you before? Like, they just aged up. Now that was weird. I still haven't heard anything from anybody about that being in the comics. Speed has the super speed, and obviously Quicksilver's like, yeah, that's my boy. You're my boy, Blue. Billy ends up having his Wiccan powers. And that's how, in the leaks footage, when I told you that Billy runs up to Wanda, that's how he hears him. So that's really cool that, you know, they're going that route. And so a lot of people are thinking that the Young Avengers is going to be a real thing because of Speed and Wiccan. And especially that, you know, Kate Bishop is supposed to be in the Hawkeye show and all this other jazz. Here's the deal with that. Like I said before, when Vision goes out of the Hex, he starts decaying. He ends up dying. And if Wanda didn't expand the Hex, it wouldn't have saved his life. We don't know now because they are created. I don't think they're going to become real. What I feel what's going to happen and what leads to the multiverse of madness is Wanda losing her mind, like in the House of M. When she loses everything in the comic book, that's when she loses her shit. I can see that Speed and Wiccan are not coming, and the Young Avengers are going to be further off. Wanda extends the Hex, saves Vision's lives, but not only that, it takes over the base and it takes over everybody else, and they turn into basically a circus with clowns. And I love that because she could be like, yeah, they're a bunch of clowns, and that's what she turned them into, a circus and clowns. Hayward ends up getting away, and then Monica Rambeau and Wu end up, but poor Darcy Lewis was handcuffed to a truck and she gets sucked in there. So yeah, we'll see if, you know, this whole Hex power is what's creating mutants or not. You know, only time will tell. And we'll see how this all connects, especially because WandaVision is only 3 weeks after Endgame. But Spider-Man Far From Home is supposed to be 8 months after Endgame, after the snap. So how long does this multiverse thing happen? We have no idea. And also they said Doctor Strange was handling something at the moment when Far From Home was happening. 2 of my subscribers that commented below was DJ Odyssey and also Sipelius or Sipelius. Yeah, sorry, I butchered names. But they were going back and forth and saying how, yeah, how this may end up connecting, and how Wanda with the alternate reality, maybe the first sign that we actually saw of the alternate realities coming in was actually J. Jonah Jameson in Far From Home. He ended up coming in, it was the same actor. He looked a little different, but he was the same actor that was JJ in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So maybe. And according to DJ Odyssey, he really thinks it's just going to be Doctor Strange at the end. Again, I'd rather it not be, but we'll see. So thanks guys for commenting. Really do appreciate it as always. And those are my thoughts. Tell me guys what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell button for more future videos. I love ya. Talk to you soon.